2 Kings 8. Now Elisha advised the woman whose son had been brought back to life, "You and your family should go and live somewhere else for a while, for the Lord has decreed that a famine will overtake the land for 7 years." Fascinating. We now, after this whole story where there's a famine going on, we have information that Elisha knows of the famine, knows of the length of the famine, 7 years, a total famine. And a famine is a spiritual assessment. It is a spiritual, it should point to a spiritual problem in the land. So 7 years, this is quite a spiritual problem in the land of Israel. So is this 7 years after the events of the previous story that we had? Or was this just we're getting caught up on Elisha knew this and the other stories happened within that 7-year time? Not sure, but just pointing it out. So the woman did as the prophet said. She and her family went and lived in the land of the Philistines for 7 years. After 7 years, the woman returned from the land of the Philistines and went to ask the king to give her back her house and field. So she's been gone. Remember, one of the things that happens in 7 is the year of Jubilee, when all property is supposed to be returned back to its OG owner, the family who it was given to, back by Joshua when they conquered the land. It's a return back to the family OG every 7 years. She's been gone for 7 years. She's asking for her property back. Now, this does make it sound like the famine and all of that was up above. That was part of what happened during the 7 years. Now that the 7 years is complete, we have her coming back, but we needed to know why she had left and what was happening. So now the king was talking to Gehazi, the prophet's servant, and said, "Tell me all the great things that Elisha has done." While Gehazi was telling the king how Elisha had brought the dead back to life, the woman whose son had been brought back to life came to ask the king for her house and field back. Like, what are the chances of that? You want a story? Well, let me tell you about a story of a boy that was brought back to life. Hey, wait a minute. His mother's here. His mother just happens to be showing up while I'm telling you the story about him. Gehazi said, "My master, O king, this is the very woman, and this is her son whom Elisha brought back to life." Like, God's timing. Like, if you can't get behind, God's timing is perfect. His sense of humor is amazing. Like, here's another example. The king asked the woman about it, and she gave him the deets. The king assigned a eunuch to take care of her request and ordered him, "Give her back everything she owns, as well as the amount of crops her field produced from the day she left the land until now." Now, there's a famine in the land, so it shouldn't be a whole lot of crops produced, but the king is blessing her. And also we had all of the loot that was there from the Assyrian army, so it's probably coming from there. Elisha traveled to Damascus while King Ben-hadad of Syria was sick. The king was told, "The prophet has come here." So the king told Hazael, "Take a gift and go visit the prophet. Request from him an oracle from the Lord. Ask him, 'Will I recover from this sickness?'" So Hazael went to visit Elisha. He took along a gift as well as 40 camel loads of the fine things of Damascus. When he arrived, he stood before him and said, "Your son, King Ben-hadad of Syria, has sent me to you with this question: Will I recover from this sickness?" Elisha said to him, "Go and tell him, you will surely recover, but the Lord has revealed to me that he will surely die." Okay. Another one of these, like, the prophets aren't always forthright when they're dealing with people. They're not always forthright. So what's Elisha doing here? Elisha just stared at him until Hazael became uncomfortable. Then the prophet started crying. Hazael said, "Why are you crying, my master?" He replied, because I know the trouble you will cause Israel. You will set fire to their fortress, kill their young men with the sword, smash their children to bits, and rip open their pregnant women." Hazael said, "How could your servant, who is insignificant as a dog, accomplish this great military victory?" Elisha answered, "The Lord has revealed to me that you will be the king of Syria." He left Elisha and went to his master Ben-hadad and asked him, "What did Elisha tell you?" Hazael replied, "He told me you will surely recover." The next day, Hazael took a piece of cloth, dipped it in water, and spread it over Ben-hadad's face until he died. Then Hazael replaced him as king. So we have the servant of the king, when the king is sick, going to Elisha. So from Syria, knowing that Elisha has thwarted his plans throughout time, he's now sending his servant to go to Elisha. Servant goes to Elisha. Elisha tells him he's going to die, but you're to tell him he's going to live. And then apparently Elisha is downcast, and he's asking, "Why are you downcast?" And what's going on? He just stares at him, probably giving him an evil eye or the dirty look or something like that. He's like, "You're going to be king, and you're going to thrash Israel. You're going to come against God's people." And so he goes back. He's like, "How can this be?" And so anyway, he goes back. He tells the king what he was told to tell him: "You're going to live." And the next day, he took a piece of cloth, dipped it in water, and spread it over Ben-hadad's face until he died. They made sure we didn't have the referent wrong and put Ben-hadad in there. This sounds a little bit like waterboarding to me. You're covering his face with a wet cloth so that he's trying to breathe through it and he ends up drowning, or maybe ends up suffocating, whatever the case may be. So he kills the king and he becomes the replacement of the king. In the 5th year of the reign of Israel, King Joram, son of Ahab, Jehoshaphat's son Jehoram, became king over Judah. He was 32 years old when he became king, and he reigned for 8 years in Jerusalem. So not a long time. He followed in the footsteps of the kings of Israel, just as Ahab's dynasty had done. For he married Ahab's daughter. He did evil in the sight of the Lord, but the Lord was unwilling to destroy Judah. He preserved Judah for the sake of his servant David, to whom he had promised a perpetual dynasty. So we have a king that's now following Jehoshaphat, and he marries Ahab's daughter. Well, you know what? Maybe Jehoshaphat should not have been so friendly with Ahab as to have this happen. However, probably the thought was, this will unite us together as family, so we won't be fighting each other. We are family, but the fact that your son is following after the dynasty of Ahab, it's a very bad thing. During his reign, Edom freed themselves from Judah's control and set up their own king. Jehoram crossed over to Zaire with all his chariots. The Edomites who had surrounded him attacked at night and defeated him and his chariot officers. The Israelite army retreated to their homeland. So Edom has remained free from Judah's control to this very day. At the same time, Libnah also rebelled. I like these little oh yeah, and also this other group also did at the same time. So we have a change of king, and now we have to see if we can throw off our oppressors that are our vassal, rulers. We've got to throw them off. So they're successful. The rest of the events of Joram's reign, including a record of his accomplishments, are recorded in the scrolls of the annals of the kings of Judah. Jehoram passed away and was buried with his ancestors in the city of David. His son Ahaziah replaced him as king. So Short little story. We move to the next king. He was not good, and he lost territory. In the 12th year of the reign of Israel's king Joram, son of Ahab, Jehoram, son of Ahaziah, became king over Judah. Ahaziah was 22 years old when he became king, and he reigned for 1 year in Jerusalem. His mother was Athaliah, the granddaughter of King Omri of Israel. He followed in the footsteps of Ahab's dynasty, and he did evil in the sight of the Lord as Ahab's dynasty had done, for he was related to Ahab's family. So I told you this was a problem. Not only has it now affected son, it's affected grandson, and he's reigning for 1 whole year. This seems like there's major judgment being called out here. Hey, Varkan, welcome in. He joined Ahab's son Jehoram in the battle against King Hazael of Syria at Ramoth Gilead, in which the Syrians defeated Joram. King Joram returned to Jezreel to recover from the wounds he received from the Syrians in Ramah when he fought against King Hazael of Syria. King Ahaziah, son of Jehoram of Judah, went down to visit Joram, son of Ahab, in Jezreel, for he was ill. Okay, who is the he that was ill? I think it's Joram is ill. I think that's what we have there. All right, so we have a pretty tight-knit, we've got relatives on the throne in both kingdoms, so we're fighting together. We're losing, but we're fighting together. And we've got the king is sick, so we're going to go and visit the king.